Hello everyone, I'd like to continue the cloud example that we started in class on Thursday. I have loaded the program on Blackboard. If you go to Toolbox and click on the class projects folder and scroll all the way down, here is the example from Thursday. This is the NetBeans zip file that contains the NetBeans project file, and here is the Word document that I used in class. To remind you, this is problem 717 of your book, and we started discussing how to solve this problem by analyzing and designing three classes: a cloud class to represent the concept of a cloud component that represent the concept of the cloud component that will appear on a GUI interface, graphical user interface, and the actual application itself. We said the cloud class should have attribute, the data. The cloud component will have an attribute, which is a variable of the cloud object, and then the application itself has a main method and doesn't have any attributes. The cloud class will have constructors, will have set and get methods, and it will have an add method, which is required by the problem, and a draw method, which will draw the cloud of the number of points that the cloud component will define. The cloud component will have a constructor that receives the number of points, and it will have a paint component that will draw the cloud, and the main method, the main class, will create the frame. In class on Thursday, we were able to create the structure of the application. Created three packages: a package for the cloud class, a package to represent the components, and a package for the main method. We were able to complete the cloud class in class, and we did not have an opportunity to finish the cloud app and the cloud component. So that's what I plan to do in this video. As you can see, the cloud class had the points, which is an array of point 2D. It had a radius as a constant, and then it had one constructor, the default constructor, that initializes the array, and then the constructor that initializes the array. Then we have the add method, which will receive a point and add it, and another add method that will receive an x and y and add and create a point and add them. Then we have a draw method that will draw the cloud based on the number of points that we have in the points array by drawing an oval. The draw oval will draw a circle, the boundaries of the circle. I'm going to change draw oval to fill oval, and this will fill the circle, so it will look better. And if you want, you can exchange colors here, and maybe you can consider doing that. So let's go ahead with the cloud component. And the cloud component does not have anything in it yet, so this will be a class to represent the concept of a cloud component. If I can spell. The cloud component, in order for it to be component, we have to add this keyword extends, and say that extends the library class JComponent. And once you type JComponent, NetBeans will say, hey, you did not define where to get JComponent from. I will give you this light bulb. Click on it and import the JComponent class. Then we start with the constructor, with the attribute. And we said we have one attribute here, which is the cloud. So I would define cloud, and I would call this point cloud, or you can give it whatever name you want. And again, it was gonna complain here because it's gonna say what is this cloud, but it will recognize that it is in the package class, so it will give you a suggestion. Do you want to import this class? And it will say yes. Then I'm going to create a set and get method. I will not really need them here, but just to establish the habit. So when I select all and make the field visibility private, refactor. So here is the set and get methods. I would like to start by creating the constructor, a default constructor. So we say this is a default constructor. So the default constructor will be public cloud component. Notice that I have a spelling mistake here from the class on Thursday, and I'm not gonna try to fix it. And what the constructor will do is it will initialize the attribute. So we say that point cloud equal new point cloud. New cloud. It says here cloud is not public, so I probably missed something here. Yep, this needs to be public. The constructor needs to be public so we can access it. And that fixes the error that we have, this one. Alright. Then when I go back a little bit to my design, and we said that the constructor will receive the number of points. So when somebody creates the cloud component, that will means that they need to set the number of points. But to do that, I have to make the number of points I will have to make the number of points in as a variable in the cloud, so I will need to add the number here as a variable. So I come and define another one, private, and this could be integer, and then we can call it number of points. And I'm going to define refactor this to set and get as well. And then I will create and this will add to the default constructor, will initialize the number of points, and let's say this will be let's say 20, any initial value, or maybe yeah, you can initialize it to 0. Then we will have a constructor with a parameter that will be number of points to create the cloud. So we'll say public cloud component, and this will receive an integer n, and we'll say we want to set the number of points to equal n, and we also need to create the point cloud equal new cloud. Alright, so then we need to add the paint component. And paint component is a method that we will change its definition. It's already defined in the JComponent class, and it is called automatically whenever the frame or the component will need to be painted. So this is public void paint component graphics G, and graphics G is a reference to an add import to the graphics. And because in the cloud we set the draw method to use graphics 2D, so we need to create convert the graphics to a graphics 2D. by casting the graphics to a graphics 2D object, and again I need to import that. Then what I need to do here is I need to add the points and then draw the clouds. So I need to add the random points to the cloud, and I can do that in the paint component. I could have done that actually also in the constructor, or I can do that in the set point cloud. These are all three possible places to do that, or I can create a method that says fill cloud, for instance. So I can do something like that, fill cloud, so that I don't put the code in here and come and say fill cloud uses random numbers to fill the cloud with the number of points. So this will be this could be private, void fill cloud. And what we need to do here is we want to initiate random number. So what is the range of the random numbers we want to initiate? Range of random number. So we want the cloud to appear on the frame. So you have to imagine the frame, or not imagine, even design the frame. And if I create a new page here, so if you want to see where I can get the so I'll probably shapes. Of course, when you try to find something, you're not gonna find it. Here you go. So if you think of the frame as something like this, and the frame will have a width and it will have a height. So if you think of this as the width of the frame, and then you will have a height, which is this one. Right. So we want to draw the cloud here on this frame. Let's see if I can find something to represent a cloud. Oh, we have a cloud. So we want to create a cloud here, and maybe we'll just change the color for that. Man, where is the fill color? And the fill color will make this like that. Alright, so the question now is, I want to generate a cloud to be within this space, which means that I need to generate random points, and those random points, I want them to be within that space. So the X and Y, I want them to be within that boundary. So what is this boundary? This boundary, if you see this imaginary rectangle surrounding the cloud, this is equal to the width minus the margin. If you see, there is a margin from both sides. So what is that width? This width is defined by the frame, and the component can find that width by retrieving using the method getWidth and method getHeight. So I can define, I think it is double width equal, and I can say this dot getWidth. It actually returns integer. So just change that to integer. and the same will be for the height. So integer height, this dot get height. And why is this giving me the width and height? These are features of the J component. So the component, once you put the component on the frame and the frame gives the component width and height, you can retrieve these two from here. Alright, so you retrieve them and then what?